Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Railway Empire with me, Aj. We're just continuing the scenario set on the eastern seaboard, one that everybody seems to think and says is a very difficult one, and that is the hunger for raw materials. So far we have our southern network set up. All the cities down in the south are connected and we stretch as far north as Baltimore. Over in the west, we reach up as far as Louisville. And in the south, we are obviously dominating. We've locked the south out. Our economy is exceptionally strong. We have purchased quite a few industries and whatnot. And we're making progress towards completion of this scenario. We have two compulsory tasks remaining. Number one is to transport 100 tons units of steel, and number two is to connect 10 cities, each with a population of 100,000 people. And the two optional tasks are to buy out one competitor, and then the final one is to purchase all three of our competitors' companies. So yes. So far we have two cities that have a population of 100,000. Let's just open this city list and scroll through them all and see where we are. So we don't have a presence in Albany. We do have one in Atlanta, and that's at 56,000. We are in Augusta, that's at 90,000. I just spotted there as well. Augusta has a free industry slot, so it would be prudent to go ahead and install an industry into Augusta. Now we have these logs here what are being brought into Augusta, so for my money I'm going to go ahead and build a furniture industry. There we go. That'll make use of these logs. Let's just expand it a little there. There we go. So yes, Augusta is just short of 100,000. Baltimore we're connected to as well, that is 66,000. And it also has space for a city building. So I'm going to go ahead, let the money build up to 200,000 and put down the museum to stimulate growth. Like so. Charleston is our hub city, and that is just shy of 120,000. That's already there. Charlotte is 92,000. I'm going to go ahead and I won't be able to afford that. No, I won't be able to afford that industry, but I will expand it at some point, and we already have a museum there to help growth. Just head back. Jacksonville, again, we have space for a museum, and it would be good practice to put one in to encourage growth. Okay, let's return and continue our journey through. Knoxville is still only at 25,000, so that needs to do some growth pretty quickly. And then we have Louisville, that's over 100,000, so that's number two of the cities. Montgomery, there's another city where we have space for a museum, so let's go ahead and put one in. And continue scrolling through. Norfolk is 50,000, so when that peaks over to 60, again, we'll put the museum in. Washington, same story, just over 50, another 10,000, and we can put a museum in. Wilmington, we don't have a presence in. I do not. Oh, yes, we do. I tell a lie. That's at 38,000. And then we're back at Atlanta, which is 56,000. So generally speaking, we're looking pretty good in terms of growth. So let's go ahead and start getting some of these cities better supplied, so they grow a little bit quicker. So we have here Charlotte. We need corn, logs, sugar, milk, vegetables, and fruits. So we have fruits here. So we have milk here, so we'll connect that milk up. We'll also obviously connect the fruit industry to the city as well. We have corn here. Do we have a? Yes, we do have a corn industry to the north. So rather than try and be jumping all those tracks, we'll just tap in to the farm to the north. Let's go ahead and run our track into Charlotte. So we'll just curve around the cotton plantation, and then just if we leave the track there for one moment, we can then expand this station, which gives us a spare platform. Due to the distance of the city from the farm, I will have multiple trains running on this stretch, so we'll put 2 tracks down and then put in a couple of signals. Oops, let's put that into a one-way, there we go, that's better. I'm not going to put a load of signals down, because we're not going to have that many trains, so we don't need that many blocks. So obviously, as I'm sure you're aware, a supply tower also functions as a set of signals. So if we put 2 down, that divides the should divide it up enough, and we can then go ahead and start shipping some corn. And I believe we'll have 3 trains running this route. That should be more than sufficient to keep Charlotte supplied with corn. So that's now met, or it will be met eventually once freight starts to hit the city. Lumber is another good that is in demand, as well as the cattle. So we have cattle here. We'll just expand the station there to give us a platform. I don't think we're going to be able to... no. Just can't make that supply tower, so we'll put our own down. Now we have a platform there, but it isn't spare. And that platform is coming from our wheat farm. So I'll leave the track there. Go ahead and expand this station. Once we get to 100,000, there we go. And then we have space for this track. This line, I'm gonna stick to just one train for now. Won't be a problem to revisit later on and add extras in if the demand is not being met, but I think one will cover it. So we have a livestock industry near Knoxville that's up for sale. I'm not going to purchase that, because there won't be much demand for the cattle that it produces. So let's return our focus to this line here. Check out our research, just slow the game down while we do that. We'll get reduced maintenance requirements, that's always a handy little thing to pick up. So, Charlotte, we've connected logs and we have connected cattle. Now, the next thing on the list is sugar and or milk. We have a sugar farm there. We could run it in no problem. And we have milk here. So let's go ahead and get the milk first, since it is since it's closer and it will be quicker to connect. And we will run this track just alongside the existing track. Into our platform there. Now we hit that signal tower, so that has nicely broken the track down into extra blocks, I should say. So we will have we'll do 2 trains to begin with. We can always let it run for a while, come and check on it, and if the demand's good, if the trains aren't running, then 2 is obviously enough. So that's that. Our logs should be coming in. Yet there's the first one on its way in, and one heading back. Oh, sorry, that's the cattle. Did I connect logs? I thought I had. Nope. Nope, I haven't. I must have just made that up. There isn't even a... Oh, there's a lumber yard there. We'll use that one. So we have a 4th track already. So we bring him down the hill, and then we're just going to run him straight across. Okay, we can't go that way because that will interfere. There we go. Okay, I've just spotted what I need to do in future, so I'm not gonna run in parallel with that track. In fact, let's not even cross him over the river. Let's run him straight through like this, and then he can be brought in from the west. Obviously that is going to be a shared platform, but aside from bringing it into this first station, that is unavoidable, but that's not a problem. There we go. Let's put the signals on that stretch of track. And let's break the track into smaller chunks with some supply towers. That should be more than adequate. And we will run 4 trains. That might be overkill, but we can always remove one if we need to. Okay, tunnel construction isn't such a burning concern on this scenario, so I'm not going to go ahead and employ that surveyor. But what I am going to do is connect, just run the game so I can get some money accumulated, connect this sugar farm, and then begin running these lines to the various cities in the area. And I can just sneak in alongside that supply tower. I want to cross the top of the dairy farm. And in fact, we'll merge him there prior to the bridge. So we need 237 for that line. There we go. And then the... oh no, that's absolutely not the right side. So there's going to be quite a stretch for the sugar trains that are single line only, so that means single locomotive at a time. That's fine, it will help reduce congestion in and around the city, and it will also help with the spacing of the incoming freight. Of course, we will need some supply towers here. We'll put one there because that will serve as a block as the trains are waiting to merge onto the incoming line. To complete that merge successfully, we need a switch. And the switch will have to be this side of the bridge. That's not a problem. Once I put the signals there so the trains can stop close to the switching point before, you know, allowing other trains to pass. We have our signals there. That's all A-OK. Now we can just go ahead. We've got a supply tower there. Let's put one more. Just so now we can start bringing in the sugar. Tell a lie, I did connect the logs. I connected them from here, didn't I? Just going slightly mad. They do say your memory is the first thing to go, I suppose, so that's nice. So the trains are out and about on the way into Charlotte. A chemical factory in Charleston is up for sale. Yes. Just slow the game down and take stock. So Charlotte... Okay, that's Charlotte pretty much covered. Once all these things start arriving in the city, then that will grow to past 100,000. So by my reckoning, that is city number 3. Oh no, it'll be city number 4 unless it literally ticked over. Yes, that'll be city number 4. Obviously we have to keep these cities above the 100,000 threshold, so we can't ease off on them, because if they do fall back under that margin, then the counter ticks down again. Let's have a look here. Yeah, we'll get the chief engineer for the extra innovation points. Okay. What I'm looking at now is if there are any cities our competitors are growing that are plus 100,000, and there is. Toledo, I believe it was, is greater than 100,000. Yes, Toledo. So I'm going to go ahead. There's already 2 stations there. I can't do it. But what I can do is just browse our competitors' stage. So we're 37 million. So rough calculation, we're pretty much the same value as all of our competitors combined. Let's check out how much it would cost to acquire some of these straight off the bat. 15 million for Roger, 18 million for Don Lorenzo, and then 20 million for Jonathan Johnson. I was just a fraction too slow to hit the bid button, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to perform another pass through of all the cities. So starting in Albany, even though we don't have a presence there. Atlanta, we can now put a museum in, so let's go ahead and do that. There it is. There, so that's Atlanta with a museum. That'll help growth. Excellent. The next city along, Augusta, just over 100,000. Perfect. Baltimore, 84,000. Charleston's good. Charlotte's past that mark, that's good. Jacksonville's good. Knoxville's still very small. Louisville good. Montgomery growing. Norfolk needs to grow, Washington needs growth, Wilmington needs growth, and we're back to Atlanta. Okay. So let's go ahead actually, since we're here, let's get Atlanta growing. Let's see what's required. We need corn, cotton, sugar, and milk. So let's just look around. We have cotton here, milk, sugar, and I believe there's a supply of corn there, yes. Okay, now this is going to get ugly because we're going to have to start to jump tracks. Now, to minimize the disruption and the ugliness, I'm going to go ahead and utilize a warehouse which will collect these goods here, and if we run that, does yes, and the which checks it, yeah, okay, yes, collect these resources here and feed them to these various cities. Although some of them are probably going to be best off fed directly. I tell you what, let's go ahead and get Montgomery out of the way first. Now it needed, I've just checked and forgotten, sugar, milk, fruit and veg. So we've got sugar, we have milk, we have fruit, sorry, veg, but we do not have a source of fruit here. We have one up here, but that's probably a little bit out of the way. However, because Montgomery has a museum, obviously that reduces the demand satisfaction threshold. So I believe we're going to be a-okay just supplying the... I can't quite hit both of them at once. All three of them at once. That's fine. So we'll use that train station for the milk and the sugar. Here will obviously be wheat, but I think most cities are okay for wheat. But we'll have a station there. We don't have to use it. We have a station here for our vegetables. I don't think any of these... Oh yeah, Atlanta will need cotton, so we'll sort that out as well. And we need this corn here. Okay, we'll just... Can I put him... No, it's just not enough room there. Okay, no problem. But we can put him that side of the river to save a bridge. Okie dokie. So I've got a warehouse there if I need to use it. But let's have a play around, and I think we may be good, we may get away with it. Let's initially bring our sugar and milk up this way into Montgomery. Now the reason I think I've changed my mind. I may end up using a warehouse, but the reason I've not committed to it fully is because I'm not a great fan of them for a couple of reasons. Firstly, perhaps it's just my bad track planning, but I find they make the traffic a lot worse. I also find certain resource, I know you can manipulate them with platform management and what goods to prioritize and which goods to ignore, but it's a lot of micromanagement to keep chopping and changing and keeping an eye on just one city's demand when you're trying to grow 10 cities at once. And what I find is, you know, you might be getting a trains loaded up completely chock full of wheat, while your milk, sugar and your vegetables, for example, are just sat there gathering dust in the warehouse, while these cities are crying out for those goods. So this is why I prefer to run more direct where I can. So that's why I'll leave it there, but I don't think I'm going to end up using it. I'd rather have spaghettification and bridges and tunnels over all these existing network tracks. So we'll see how we get on with it anyway. Anyway, I digress. We are supposed to be supplying Montgomery. Just adding a couple of signals in here to break the track down into smaller chunks. That should be more than enough. So you can leave fully loaded. I'm not going to specify what goods to take. Instead, just take anything that's available when you're there. And we'll have 4 trains. And that should be okay to keep Montgomery's demand for milk and sugar satisfied. Jacksonville, you're also going to need these products. Let's just leave the tracks there for the time being, and then go ahead and expand our stations here. So that's now both stations with 4 platforms. So yeah, let's go ahead and run you into platform 2. Okay, that's fine. Again, because this is a dual resource station, we're going to want a couple of trains to ensure we're getting both goods loaded on the trains. Okay, let's put the signals on. Put too many signals down there. That's fine. Again, we're going to want 4 fully loaded trains. Okay, so that's Jacksonville and Montgomery now both receiving, or will start to be receiving, sugar and milk. They're both going to need vegetables, and Jacksonville is also going to need wheat. This will just be a single train run, because we're getting faster and faster trains so they can make the journey obviously in quicker time. Now you're going to need vegetables, because even though I'm sure you get a decent overland supply, if we can keep it topped up to the max, then you're going to grow a little bit quicker. And as we know, if you want to get that president rating in this game, you need to get things done quickly. Okay, so you have a decent supply of corn already, but you don't have a supply of vegetables, so let's take this train. We're going to pass through this station. We're not going to stop there, we're just going to pass through rather than circling round. Now that's going to cut off. Okay. Well, whichever way we go, that station for Norris fattening is going to be cut off from Atlanta and Augusta, but not necessarily. Again, what we'll do is, using platform 2, is simply pass straight through. That has the added benefit of sharing the resource towers with this line, save us a little bit of money. So I'll put some double track in there and on this side. But we won't bother on that side because it's such a short run, but we will put supply towers either side to serve as signals. Obviously we do need to put our directional signals in regardless, so we'll do that as well. And same on this stretch of track here. So how many supply? We hit 2 supply. That's fine, yeah. Okay, so let's start shipping the vegetables to Montgomery. And we shall have 3 trains here. So at this point, let's just check if any more cities have grown. No, but 4 of 10. See if we get any cities actually experiencing growth at the moment, though. Charlotte, but that's already well past 100,000. And that's it. So we need to get some growth kicking. Now, how are these steel shipments doing? 40 of 100. We've still got 10 years to do that, so that's absolutely fine. That's in good time. So let's return to Montgomery. Corn next. So if we can get corn brought in, which we have here. And we'll go along the south. Oh, we have fruits here. I did not see those fruits. Okay, let's get a large station for these fruits. That completely passed me by, so let's pick these up since they're so close. Okay, we'll do a bit of track sharing. Sorry, platform sharing, but that's A-okay. For just the shall we say generic demand goods, i.e. the ones that are not required by industry, I'm not too fussed if there's a bit of platform sharing. However, if it's going to be blocking a supply of materials that is needed for an industry, then I try and avoid it. However, obviously the fruits aren't an industry required good, and neither are the logs, so that's all okay. Should just run a solitary train. And then we can even bring the fruits into the city of Jacksonville to encourage some growth here as well. Again, they're not that won't be sharing with an industry-driven demand, so happy to let those platforms be shared. Ah, we have a bridge on this track. Okay, no problem. I mean, at this point financially, we're in such a strong position. Don't have to really concern ourselves too greatly with fine-tuning track costs. So we've got a supply tower there, and there, and there, and there. Okay. So now we can run our fruit into Jacksonville, which will encourage further growth. And 4 trains should be enough there. Charlotte is expanded, okay. Jacksonville is now growing, that's now just peaked past 75k. Montgomery's still at around 80. Atlanta is 64. Jacksonville is still above 100. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then one of these 10. I was just looking at which cities are the strongest candidates to hit the 100,000 mark. Knoxville is obviously so small. I mean, it wouldn't be a problem to grow it, but we have better candidates in terms of, some people are closer already. So we have a backlog here, so you can't move. You're waiting for him. Okay, that's no problem. Why is that? Why has that done that? Ah, because there's no switch. And again, there's no switch here. Oh yes, there is. It's here. So what has gone wrong? What signal has told that to do that? Yes, that will be right. Is that the problem solved? Okay, let's just delete. What's he waiting for now? Soya cattle. I've messed up something here, haven't I? So what in... So you can't reach soya cattle. Let's see why not. So you can leave the station. You can come this way, no problem. You can go left. Why is that not having that? What on God's green earth has happened here? Oh, I see. How has that done that? What have I done? What have I done? I think, yeah, it's that one signal there that's messed it up. Sorry, that one there. Which I cannot change, frustratingly. Okay, that's everything good. Okay, brilliant. So I need to replace two of these. I think it was two Sawyer cattle trains. I believe it was a Smith Farm train as well. Okay. Well, that's that crisis averted. I mean, luckily Charlotte is already grown, so it wasn't causing too many issues. Let's go back to check on Jacksonville, which is now up past 80,000. Montgomery, which is also past 80. Excellent. And I think at this point we'll call a close to this episode. Now I've got that little drama sorted out. And we'll continue on in our next episode when we continue this final push to grow our cities to 100,000 people. So far so good. Let's just confirm we're at 4 of 10. So any basic mathematician would tell you that's 40%. So almost halfway there. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Hope, you know, my balls up with the signalling on this on these lines here didn't cause you too much frustration. I know there are times when you're watching a video you spot the mistake straight away and it takes, you know, 20 minutes for whoever's playing the game to spot it as well, and for those 20 minutes you're literally just ripping your hair out and, you know, screaming at the monitor. So sorry about that, but it's all sorted now and I shall see you in the next chapter. Thanks for watching, guys.